yourselves. In this video, CA book binds 4 sketchbooks and really just talks to you about sketchbook making and why CA prefers to make sketchbooks rather than buying them. But CA, if it's a gift, CA will use it and stuff, but the things that CA looks for in a sketchbook. But first, let's look at these earrings. They were a gift and they are gorgeous. CA's friend Dana, she was at the United Nations and got these earrings for ZA, and they are so pretty. ZA is like obsessed with them. They're just so blessing. Anyway, let's get into it. ZA is here at the hotel. Without going into too much detail, ZA just wanted to say that some things have happened, and so ZA no longer had any more spare days to stay at the housing program ZA was in. So ZA is back at the hotel, and ZA is okay, and just really praying for things to work out better within the next hopefully 2 weeks. But yeah, it's all pretty personal, so ZA's not really gonna go into all that. Anyway, the other day there was a really bad thunderstorm that, combined with a whole lot of other things that's happening, triggered ZA so badly. So ZA decided to make some sketchbooks because it was very something ZA could use ZA's hands with to like quiet the really bad thoughts in ZA's head. Because there's just a lot that ZA has been hit with this year, and it's every day that ZA wakes up, it's even more difficult than the day before, and it's a lot. So let's let ZA's not done with the sketchbook. ZA made 4 sketchbooks because the other day ZA went to, it's a store called Half Price Books, where all of the books are half the price of like the actual MSRP price or whatever, and ZA had never been in there, and so ZA also went to Walmart but didn't buy anything. But anyway, ZA was in there and fell in love with the place. There's a book that ZA didn't buy but really wanted, so ZA might end up going back there sometime this week to get it. But if it's not there, then it's not the end of the world kind of thing. And so ZA was walking around the store looking at the different books. Like, they have such a wide selection of books, it's crazy. They even have like a military fiction and nonfiction section, and ZA was just like, wow. Like, the only other place ZA would see something like that would be like a library, you know. But it's very nice, very relaxing vibes. But what ZA brings this up because they had sketchbooks in several different sections. They had different kinds of sketchbooks, and while ZA really liked the covers of the sketchbooks, ZA didn't like how none of them laid flat. And ZA used to not care about things like that, you know, but it is something that because ZA would look at the price of the sketchbooks and then feel the paper, because you got to feel the paper. So sometimes the paper was too thin, or if it was thicker, it would like make a V shape. So this is like one page, and then it dumps down into the gutter, and then it comes back up. And ZA's just like, if ZA bought that, even though the cover and the paper are really good, CA would be so unhappy with that gutter. And like, because when you have the gutter problem with a bound sketchbook and you're as crazy with art supplies as ZA is, it kind of is like you have to be careful, because the more paint or whatever, because a lot of these sketchbooks are sold as like dry media only, but ZA doesn't follow that. Like a sketchbook's a sketchbook. ZA just when you have a gutter like that in a sketchbook and you're using a lot of mixed media, a lot of paint, a lot of water, sometimes it soaks up the other pages in the sketchbook to the point where ZA has had experience with things tearing out suddenly and stuff. This is the first one ZA did, and ZA actually kind of sort of redid it because the binding was different. It was like a thin thing of cardboard, and ZA thought it would be okay, but it was peeling off the actual cover, and so ZA was like, okay, let's not do that, let's tear it off and use canvas instead, because ZA found spare canvas that past blessing packed in case future blessing or present day blessing wanted to use canvas for something. So thank you, blessing from the past. And so they're all bound with this canvas, and how do you put it? ZA is going to paint the spine on each of them a different color or whatever. And the cover itself is kind of a funny story. There's a little free art gallery at the church that ZA goes to. So one day ZA found this. It was a notebook, like a book. This up here was all spiral bound. This was open, and the book like flipped to the top like this. And so, but the problem was, is ZA didn't like this. ZA didn't like the fact that the book was lines. It had lines in it, like a memo pad, and ZA doesn't like books that have lines in them for the most part. So what ZA did, ZA removed the front and the back from the spiral, and then just put the spiral notebook at the housing program that ZA used to be in. They have like a little box that like the different little notepads and note-taking things can go into so that everyone can communicate. And so ZA put that notepad in there, and to this day, as far as ZA knows, no one has complained about the fact that there's a whole notepad in here that's spiral bound, and the spirals are looking a little crazy, and there's no covers. There's no front cover, there's no back cover, it's just a pad with lines. People have been using it, and it's so funny. But yes, so ZA does love really thick sketchbooks because the anxiety of running out of pages has always been like a big thing in ZA's head. But nowadays ZA knows of how to, not only how to get paper or make paper really, but ZA has realized that with the different like bought or gifted sketchbooks, the paper quality is just so different and so unpredictable from one book to the next. And it is kind of annoying having to deal with when you're surface prepping. What ZA did with the papers in these 4 books, ZA took ZA's own mixture, which it's all the way on the other side of the room, and ZA doesn't feel like getting out of bed right now. ZA will write it somewhere. So ZA took that mixture and painted on, it was just regular sketch paper. It's actually from a larger sketchbook, but ZA never really used that particular size, so ZA ripped out the papers and, you know, surface prepped 40 pages, 40 sheets of paper in total. But when you're making books or whatever, you have to multiply it by 4. So you have to multiply the total number of sheets by 4 in order to know how many pages you have. There's a lot of math involved, and ZA is bad at math, and so like it took forever to get the math right. So this is the second one that ZA made. At the little free art gallery, someone put an entire sticker sheet of Totoro. These are all of the stickers. ZA has never actually watched the Totoro movie, but has seen other Studio Ghibli films and loves them. Ponyo is still ZA's favorite, followed by Howl's Moving Castle, but they're like neck and neck. So ZA put the Totoro stickers on the front, and this one has an expandable pocket. It's got a pocket. Oh my god. What ZA had to do, so this was from, the cover is a soft cover from a folder. This one and the next one are like that. And ZA took the folder apart, and so ZA had to redo the pockets. So it's very easy to make expandable open pockets. This next one is so not done, but it is ZA's favorite, and ZA will tell you why, and it does have ZA's name on it. So this is a map, and in one of ZA's previous videos, ZA explained why ZA loves maps, but to make a long story short, ZA loves paper maps because they remind ZA of ZA's dream to travel and spread ZA's art around the world. ZA has this signature heart that this signature heart design that ZA made a couple of years ago. But it is circled around Wetumpka because ZA's best friend, well, one of ZA's best friends, Kathleen, and her husband live in Wetumpka, Alabama, and ZA likes to visit them. Well, this was before ZA's life fell apart. We would see each other usually around Christmas time because Kathleen's family does the whole eggnog party with homemade eggnog and stuff. So ZA had to find Wetumpka on this map of Alabama and put a heart around it. And if you turn it around, this is all from the same map, but the map is huge. So ZA saw that New Orleans had also made it on the map and put a big heart around New Orleans too, because ZA did a mission trip to there 10 years ago and fell in love with the city. Fortunately, ZA could never afford to live there, but dang, that place, there's so much life there, so much life, so it gets a big heart because it's a big city. And last but not least is book number 4. It was also from a folder, but it didn't have pockets. A church folder, obviously, because we got it from church, and so it says faith with a cross. And ZA decided to put all the Christmassy stuff on this one because ZA likes the irony of it being faith but also commercialism of Christmas, because you know Christmas was hijacked from the pagans, but then it got hijacked due to capitalism and all that stuff. So I have some wrapping paper here. ZA doesn't know what to put here or here, but ZA's name is gonna go here. And this is a raccoon, but ZA is gonna turn it into a skunk because skunks are ZA's favorite animal. So it's the very next day. It's nighttime. ZA's in ZA's PJs actually, and ZA took off ZA's bow and ears and all that. But ZA last night ended up not feeling too well, and that kind of like went into today, to where the only thing ZA was able to do was pretty much finish the sketchbooks that have been a part of this whole video thing. So by finish, ZA means ZA finished decorating them and has varnished them, because ZA used paint in some instances and was like, let's just do varnish. So on ZA's bed, this is the first one, the Sarah J. Maas one, and ZA looked her up as she is an author. From what ZA understands, it's like a romance, fantasy thing, you know, but so ZA didn't do much with this book, just painted the spine, tried to color match to over here a little bit, and wrote ZA's name down here. This one is the, ZA calls it the faith one because faith, and ZA used Scrabble tiles to make ZA's name. And then of course there's the skunk that was once a raccoon, and ZA painted the spine and didn't do anything on the back cover, because by the time ZA got to this one, ZA was kind of like, we really don't have like all of our collage stuff anyway, so let's just leave the back cover as this. This is the Totoro one. What ZA did for ZA's name was cut out letters of ZA's name and from the collage papers that ZA has, and then for the back cover, ZA did a collage of a spotted skunk and wrote skunk because there's the salamander here that's got salamander up above it. So ZA was like, let's just make this the critter sketchbook. So there's that one. Then of course this one, ZA finished both Nico the cat and Goofus the dog. They turned out really pretty. ZA really likes the fact that they're odd colors, but you could still recognize them as the pets, as painted the spine, and that's about it. ZA is here at Starbucks because, wait, why are we here? Oh, the hotel that ZA is staying at is having issues with their water, so they completely cut the water off, which means a lot of different things, but the biggest one being that you can't exactly use the toilet when the water is off because you can't flush. So ZA is here at Starbucks because it was the nearest third space place that ZA could reasonably walk to, because ZA was looking for a place where you can go there and just sit down with your stuff and nobody is pressuring you to buy something. So let's show you the sketchbooks. Well, actually ZA is doing testing in one of them, but the same paper and surface prep is used for all four of them. So let's just do some sketching today. So let's show you what CA has sketched thus far. So this is what we have thus far. It's not done, but it's looking really pretty. Sandy Hester often does sketches in coffee shops, and she likes all of the little like bottles and thingies that coffee shops have behind the register. So ZA is also trying to capture that, and CA also has discovered CA loves painting these as well. And then this guy, he works at the Starbucks, and he is still working, and this lady had a really pretty top on, so we had to capture that. Let's see, I show you the finished sketch of being at Starbucks for the day. Here it is. ZA had a ton of fun with this sketch. ZA didn't do like a pencil layer and then paint on top. ZA just prefers diving right in with the paint sometimes, a lot of the time. And ZA's favorite part would probably be these like drinks here. This was the lemonade, this was the strawberry acai, and this was something else. And ZA also likes this woman's top that came out so pretty. And these are all bags of coffee, and ZA just likes the different colors and things. And that's a photo of what looked like plums or something. But yeah, there's just so much going on here. ZA would like to go back to Starbucks and sit in a different spot and do more sketches. And ZA only did this sketch because ZA was going very slow with it. ZA was going very slow with the sketch because ZA was trying to get to know having to do a coffee shop painting. It's familiar territory, but not too familiar, because normally when ZA is in a coffee shop, ZA spends more time sketching the people and not the actual shop part of the coffee shop. So having to like actually sit and sketch the little bits and bobs, it's different, but it's a challenge. But ZA enjoyed it, but ZA did not want to rush because ZA was trying to not come back to the hotel until the water was fixed or whatever. And so ZA was like, well, looks like we have a couple hours to kill, quite literally. So what can we do in a couple hours? And when ZA goes back, now that ZA has this experience, ZA might what do you call it? What's the word? Do more sketches in a session. But today was just a very different kind of day. There are a lot of thingies that go into like not just sketchbooks, but paper making in general. And ever since ZA learned how to make paper last year, there's just one of these days ZA would like to make paper again, because ZA's first batch of paper was, what do you call it? The papers are more like really thick and hard and not very paper-like. So they're great for covers of future sketchbooks, but not really for like sketchbook paper, if that makes sense. Anyway, ZA brings this up because if this video was enjoyable for you and if ZA helped you at all to be a little bit more critical about your sketchbooks, then please consider donating to ZA's Ko-Fi account. It really helps with future daily artings. It helps with the purchase of future art supplies to keep the website running and other things like that. It helps more than you know. And CA hopes you get some arting done today.